So that is my speedrun record. And if you look, well, yeah, I picked the southern side. Their troop got crushed, but who cares? I'm not gonna play that. It's just funny to see such a big ass CSA, man, with no troops at all. You'll also encounter gold mines in different mountain ranges that can be packed with thousands of natives to produce incredible quantity of gold. On top of that, even if they run out of food, nobody cares because it's just natives and the gold is still there. So everything works out in your favor after all. So let me just do a quick little move here. So there was been some change. Alright, so this is the option I want. Produce a offspring. If it was that easy, yeah. So the combat, while interesting at first when you are crushing massive native armies with only a handful of knights, become more of a chore of mindless clicking and fort sieging near the end of the campaign. This element has ended up being the leading cause of all my abandons saved. Yeah, they're just reading the book. Probably got some text pop up. Let's see how they make money. If they even make money. Which I don't know, I have some doubt. Well, you know, it's medieval Europe, so people probably paid to be read the Bible back then. You know, it's like giving money to your favorite YouTuber, just getting some entertainment because there's nothing else to do. Guantanamera, Guaira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guaira, Guantanamera. But it turns out that making a game on such slippery slope was questionable. After all, this is the period where the ESRB re-rated Oblivion from teen to mature, and the Odd Coffee controversy for San Andreas was at peak publicity. There was no interest from anyone in the industry to bring even more heat to themselves, so the game was canned. Looking at the budget, while we have a very good taxation policy of maxing up everything, we didn't max off the tariff, so we were losing a little bit of money. But of course, having access to a virtual margin account in the stock market is a great way to make cash with little risk. But I have to admit, I did get squeezed a couple of times by an unexpected rogue wave of sudden market collapsing into a depression, causing all stocks to crash, then forcing me into an early permanent retirement. Such is the life of a capitalist, after all. So the Cultural Union of Scandinavia is completed in 1900, and we have a massive Scandinavian Africa, really a shining example of colonization. I didn't see any suspicious connection, just regular telemetry ones. So now let's go and take a look at the world's strongest country, Germany. And we can see they have researched everything. They have a lot of money. They're actually pretty lax on taxation here. And they have very strong industrial power. It seems like every single state has everything upgraded and built as much as possible, which is pretty impressive for a liberal party at the power. And the first part is to go in Orléans and visit the blacksmith and the shop. And we get a glimpse of what we're really fighting for. Now, since it's been over a year I haven't played Crusader Kings 2, everything feels so different, man, just so particular. And the first thing we get when we boot up the game is an advertisement for Crusader Kings 3. I love this. We can talk about the music a little bit more because the music is just weird. It's like some sort of electronic music. It just doesn't match with 1932. It's just, I'm at loss of word too here, I gotta say. I guess they had a good deal, a good package on electronic music to put in the game. French scum, this time you had the advantage of surprise. But rest assured, I'll come to destroy your villainous kind. Sorry, I had to do that voiceover. But anyway, with all the English stuck outside, we finally win the second mission. The characters are quite interesting. For example, we have one here that is already ready for the coronavirus outbreak, but it is a theocracy, so we're not allowed to play it at all. With the dynastic trade, you can actually go see a competing dynasty and open up a trade menu to make some marriage arrangements. What I really like about that trading is that for some reason there's a certain value assigned to each character. So if you put a 9,000 valued character against a 3,000 from their end, they will be ready to pay up to 6,000 extra gold to make that marriage happen, even if the character is actually going into your family to work for you. And this in a nutshell is pretty much the entirety of the game Transocean, the shipping company. It is a pretty empty game when you get to the end of it. It's not really interesting after maybe a quarter of the way through the game, but it still was somewhat enjoyable for the first few minutes when you actually discover all the new options that are available to you. That's where you see how treacherous these English dogs are, and we have a valid casus belli to slay them now. We can play a little bit of Call of Duty Warzone right here in this game. And next up we will have the person, the one and only Mandalor when he forgets to take his daily medication. Now I don't know why they have big numbers that are not yellows and small numbers that are yellow, but when you see a yellow number on your side of the screen, you're probably winning. So for some reasons you want to learn pro tips for Victoria 2, either by morbid curiosity of a dead title, or because Vic 3 was finally announced and you want to give one last go at the predecessor. I got you, bro. And another great features it adds that you don't even need to go check in the menu is roadblock. Democracies are really bad, but with a couple of reforms and a wise use of a couples of national focus and slight abuse of the hold election button, you can quickly get the perfect party in power. And this is important to set a fair budget while building and subsidizing factories to generate a positive cash flow. In fact, I will start a seminar on positive cash flow next month, so make sure to sign up at, yeah, we're still in quarantine, forget about that, never mind. Sim Refinery was released in 1992 by Maxis for Chevron's employees. Chevron's the oil company, and it is more of a tutorial type of, it really is to give training to non-technical employees about how the oil refinery functions. Cause you up with a great power to get in the sphere, it will grant you access to that GP spherical market, giving better odds compared to the world markets of getting Clipper convoys to invade a country overseas. In bonus, it gives a nice warden to deter off rivals from invading you, as any defensive war will call in that great power into it. It doesn't mean that they will do anything, as they're probably stuck up in an unending war in Europe, but the intention is what counts. The next DLC was Sunset Invasion, and the only thing Sunset Invasion did was to add the Aztec attacking like the Mongols but from the west, and with rabies and with weird stuff and everything. Basically it was such an ahistorical DLC that I don't think anybody plays with it on, and if you forget it on during a multiplayer game, you're just gonna waste a lot of time for nothing for everybody. It deserves to go in the D section. And we finally turn a profit. Just don't go waste it all in the stock market, please. But I think it's fair and part of the game to manipulate the economy in such fashion. And hopefully, in all honesty, I hope that the game will be good. I wish that the game will be good, because for the last few years, the titles that were released felt very bare bones, and it could be a very harsh upcoming for Paradox if they release a follow-up to Crusader Kings 2 that feels empty and void, which I don't think will be a very good thing for them.
There's a place to post your rep in Germany, and it's made